Okay. Open session public meetings are subject to being videotaped. Your image and voice may be recorded. Okay, let's start off with our minutes. We have 6 sets of minutes. On the October 25th meeting with the planning board, it was only myself and Chris. And on the October 26th with the Reese open session meeting, it was just myself and Chris. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
And are there any comments on these minutes?
Just the one I made about 3 people,
Appointing
5 people being appointed at the planning board meeting.
Okay. I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So for the November 1st, 2016, November 7th, 2016, December 10th, 2016, and the December 14th. The December 10th was the Saturday personnel meeting, and December 14th was with the FinCom. Do I hear a motion to approve those?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Are you all set? Thomas, you're all set with
Yeah.
those? Okay.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Conservation Commission, the Reese land fee purchase documents. So this is the acceptance of the deed. The undersigned Conservation Commission of the Town of Berlin hereby accepts the foregoing deed from Carl Reese Valerie Trust. So the Conservation Commission has to sign this.
They'll do that tomorrow. The closing's the next Wednesday.
And we need to approve it. So do I hear a motion to approve the acceptance of the deed?
Move to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And the rest of this is for Eloise. That's Eloise to notarize. And Chief Executive Officer, Town of Berlin.
That's a different, that's the next one, that's the
Okay.
Seaslook.
Seslick. Okay, we have the Seslick Forest Fee Purchase Documents. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so all you need is my signature, it looks like.
Right on that one, yes.
Okay, we have some license renewals. We have Subway at the Solomon Pond Mall. And we have Subway at the Highland Commons.
Yes.
They want common victular licenses.
All right.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have Regal Cinemas, another common vic license.
Move to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 There's 3 for them.
All right. They also have a public amusement and a license for the sale of frozen desserts, ice cream mix, confectionery, soda water, or fruit on the Lord's Day.
I'll move to approve all of those in the unified motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. If we didn't give that to them, and people went in on Sunday and they said, well, we can't sell ice cream.
Go shut them down.
And finally, we have for Berlin Auto Service, a Class 2 motor vehicle sales license. Do I hear, this one is no more than 5 cars.
Only issue is that we don't have the $25,000 surety bond on that, which they're required to give under law. So if you wanted to approve it, I could hold it in its release, or I could hold the whole thing if you.
Hold the whole thing until we get it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we have a 7:15 appointment with the public safety chiefs, which is a different set of papers. I believe that we've been given, you should have a copy of this.
Yep.
This is for the fire. All right, so
There's a good stack of things there, stacked in order in that folder, Judy, as per the agenda. So the other things that just got added weren't in that.
okay. All right, so we have the FY18 fire budget, followed by a joint police and fire capital report, a public administration assistant job description, and the draft town office access policy. So let's start with the fire budget.
Good. I'll relax it.
You already took the money, all the money last week, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so why don't you take us through your budget?
Take you through. Okay, well, as you can see, the expenses is going to go down a little bit because we're not paying the lease on the ladder truck, and we are not incorporating any minor equipment into this budget, so
So
actually,
where does that, so salary and wages increase.
yes. So I was going by your form. That was just additional information, so I was going by this form here, but I can go by that one if you like.
Yes.
But
All right,
that one that I gave you tonight, that just kind of itemizes all the things, so you can see what is incorporated in some of those line items.
okay,
Just, it's more detail.
all right.
But if you look at the one the budget summary that you provided,
Well, let's start with full-time salary.
yes, the increase is the contractual increase for me, and increasing Captain Litchwell's hours from 26 to 50. And it would be salary, and that would encompass all of his pay for inspections, on-call, everything. And I looked at what his average number of hours were. As you saw in the write-up that I gave, his average number of hours were over the last 6 months in all categories, and it's real close to that 50 hours a week. And that's not including any of the volunteer efforts that he does and extra time that he puts in. So with the increased construction and everything going on here with the hotel and the housing projects, he's busy and going to be busier.
Okay. So on this one, you have, oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay. So FY17, it was 172,507 for wages and salary, and then it goes up to 235,662. Okay, you zeroed out, so part-time salary is
It's gone, yes.
and then part-time wages,
Is for the per diem and for the on-call.
Okay.
So 99,000 of that is on-call, and the proposal is to add 1 2/5 per diem. So actually increase the hours from 40 hours a week to 108 hours a week of per diem coverage. So that would give us coverage through the weekend, and for most times it'd be 2 people on. And again, it would be per diem. It also would have the monies there, so you can see the other letter I provided to you tonight. You haven't had a chance to read it. It's a SAFER grant that we'd like to apply for, which is for the hiring of 2 full-time. That has to be in by the middle of February. I do have it 90% completed, but it needs your approval to go forward. The payback or the payoff for the SAFER grant, the hiring, is it pays for the first 2 years 75% of the salary and benefits of the two folks if we're successful. The third year it's 35%, and then the fourth year you own it. So that gives time for the increased ambulance revenues and mitigation funds to come in to help to offset that. Plus we've got we could use some of these the per diem monies to pay for our share, which would be like $30,000, I believe.
So you have to put this in, but when do you find out if you get it?
Could be any time between May and November.
So you won't know before town meeting.
No, not likely.
So I guess,
So that's why I didn't want to lock into any full-time positions here, but put the money in so that we would fill up slots with per diem. And then if we were fortunate enough to get the grant, then we'd reduce one of those per diem slots, and we'd have the money to pay for that, for the town share of the grant.
I'm just trying to match these numbers up to what you have here for your budget. So there's 235, then 217. Okay, so that's these two, the
Yep.
217. So you're asking for an increase of $125,000?
In that line, and actually a total increase of 111 because we've gone down 14,000 on expenses.
Okay. Okay. So tell me again,
That's okay.
right now you have 2 per diems on. One.
We have a half-time fire inspector, and we have 1 per diem, 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday.
Okay.
For a total of 40 hours?
Correct.
40 hours of per diem service.
Correct.
Not the same person?
No.
but Just somebody?
Firefighter EMT on during the day.
And you want to increase that to 120 hours?
To 108. So, so we would have two, and we do them at 9-hour shifts instead, and we'd overlap them during the week. And then 1 on the weekend. And we might, and depending on how busy we are, we have the new urgent care center that's going to be opening, and that's going to create some additional calls and revenue. But we will have the ability with per diem that we could say, well, gee, Saturday's really a busy day, so we could shift one of those daytime per diems to Saturday and have an open day during the weekday especially, and we may do that. We just might do that with both Saturday and Sunday because I'm here, and I'm still an EMT, and then we have another per diem, and then the captain's here, so we do have some coverage. So it gives us the flexibility to cover the hours that we think that we're going to need. So we probably stagger it. One comes in, it works 7 to 4, and the other one comes in and works 9 to 6, something like that, depending.
And that's in and of itself going from 40 to 108 is about a $75,000 increase, right? I mean,
Yes, yep, I do have the exact numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, expenses. Contracted services this year was 38,000, you're putting in 34,000. What are contracted services?
It's anything from ambulance billing services to certification testing, medical licenses from the state, ambulance licenses from the state, things like that.
Okay. And so why is that going down?
because I don't think we'll need as much as what was in there, so.
Okay.
I've moved some from this year, I've moved some from that line item to another line item, so.
Go ahead.
Well, before we moved on, I just wanted to be sure that I understood on the sort of personnel side. What we're talking about is a $75,000 increase, which is the increase in the per diem, roughly a $58,000 increase, which is the increase in salary, the captain, and your
Yes.
your annual increment, and then that would be 133. But then you back out about 25, and again, I'm talking
Round
rough
numbers.
numbers here,
Yep.
within 1,000 or so. Then we're backing out 25 of on-call because we expect
Yes.
a reduction in that.
Yes.
And that is what gives us the difference between the 444 and the 555.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Okay, next we have telephone is going up from 2,650 to 4,000.
Because we're getting computers, 3 computers are going in the apparatus, and we have to have air cards for those so that they can communicate.
Are we talking laptop?
Laptops,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
The
like what's in the
laptop
police
and-
cruiser,
Yeah.
same thing.
The computers themselves are being provided by the district.
Okay, so you have to pay for the
Airtime.
The
Airtime.
airtime, the connections.
Other services, which you have here as repairs, from 22,000 to 24,000, no, the repairs and maintenance. So why is there an increase in that?
Because some of the stuff has gotten older, and it's cost us a lot of money for repairs this year. We spent, just one pump repair was $10,000 that we hadn't planned on. So hopefully there's nothing like that coming at us.
When are you supposed to get the new fire truck?
August.
So that should be repair-free for a while.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
But you feel that's, what, 10% increase, so you feel a 10% increase is appropriate.
For the way that the repairs have been going, yes.
Okay?
All right, we have supplies, 13,000, and that increases to 15,100.
Yep, some of that is uniforms for the folks. Before, these uniforms weren't necessarily provided, so we give them shirts and things so they look like they belong when they go out on an ambulance call and fire call. They look like professionals, so that wasn't included before.
Okay. Just stop me if you have questions. Gasoline, diesel, 87.50.
Yeah, again, I don't have the full year to go by, and there was no
I do.
set number.
I have it all on
Good. Well, we're
my,
trying to reduce our carbon footprint here, so that's why we're gonna apply for some electric vehicle grants down the road here, so.
Getting somebody else on board.
okay, other services, we did that. EMS and vehicle? EMS and
Vehicle supplies.
vehicle supplies. So that's
Again,
gone down from
well,
17 to 8,000?
Again, it's just how this budget was done before.
Okay. What does that mean, other supplies, EMS?
Office supplies, EMS supplies and vehicle supplies, that could be anything from
Bandages, that
bandages and saline to batteries for the defibrillators, to all of that's all incorporated in there.
Okay. And then finally, we have other expenses, 9,426 down to 9,000.
That's anything from, we have outside instructors come in, or we send folks to training classes or seminars, et cetera.
I
I
see.
kind of broke it down just so you could see kind of some of the things that we do.
We pay a lot of dues.
Different groups and associations.
Okay, so expenses have decreased by 14,000. Personnel has gone up 125, which gives us a net of $111,402 increase.
Yes.
Now, I read the, the spreadsheet with the capital and income, and so are these new, I guess if we go over that, the head count here for 2018 for EMS is 3, and you have budgeted this all out. So does that mean that even though it's increased 111,000, then it's not going to increase in the budget 111,000?
So what we did is, we had been talking for a while, so we came up, kind of lack of capital planning this year, with a capital plan for both capital items and personnel spending for police and fire, taking into account the funding sources that are there other than tax revenue.
So that's this spreadsheet.
Okay, I get to it, I'm just making.
So in terms of the fire, you could probably talk about your people, but it,
So right now, what you have is 2.5 full-time equivalents. Myself, the full-time per diem slot, and the half-time captain.
Okay.
So what we'll be adding is actually one more full-time slot, which would be 3 full-time slot. The captain would be full-time, and then a 2/5 per diem, so to cover the weekend. So that number shows what we're paying out of the revenues. So we've already budgeted X number of dollars to cover the chief's position and et cetera. So it's really to cover the
It's,
Okay.
yeah, what kind of has been happening year after year is we'd sit with FinCom, and then FinCom, and you were right in the forefront with that, would kind of decide how the mitigation money was going to apply differently every year. We thought it might be better looking at what our needs are going to be long-term, trying to come up with a plan on how that mitigation money would be spent, as well as adding in the ambulance revenues and some of the other fees that are collected, so that we could really have a long-term plan of spending that's not going to affect every resident's tax bill.
Yeah.
So we included personnel in that, as well as all the equipment. So what's nice is, we know we spent down all the Highland Commons money last year, so we know we're starting at a 0 this year, so that actually kind of helped us to move forward. And looking at the bill for this year, it was going to be around, from Dennis would said, about $409,000. There's a balance already in the ambulance revenue account, and then that's the expected revenues for the rest of the year would add up to $300,000, and then the current permitting and inspection fees. So that's where we came up with the baseline for this year, and then we just factor in the carryover the coming years and what the expenses will be. And we covered all the vehicles, from new fire apparatus to all the new police cruisers and other equipment that we would need over the next up through 2032.
it's a spreadsheet that says,
That's it.
okay, so this, you've got 2 of the same.
Yeah, okay,
Oh.
I'm,
All right,
That's
you
the
missed it.
problem.
There you go.
no problem, I thought.
That's the third one. You wanna take it?
sorry.
It'd be easier to look at. It'd be easier to look at if you have the top and the bottom.
Okay.
Well, you've got 2 at
Yeah, I
the
was.
top.
Killed
I
too
got
many-
2 at
it was
the
killing
top,
too many
so-
trees today.
We made some assumptions in that, because we know the Highland Commons money is tied to the consumer price index, and, so we had to make some assumptions as we went forward, so we know that down the road, with ups and downs in the economy, there could be some tweaks that we have to make. But there's also some assumptions for potential additional personnel for the police, which may not come to fruition. We don't know, but we wanted to plan for it and have a plan in case it did. So it actually adds over the life of this plan 2 additional positions for the police, which, like I said, may or may not happen. We don't know what the future of our malls are, and that's going to dictate a lot of what we do.
Yeah,
And we have the potential for grants.
this is
you
very
know,
good.
Yeah,
for-
I'm
for,
impressed with this.
It's amazing what you can do with senior work-off.
Yes, yes.
When you have people that have
John-
skills, and can help
We
us.
had the
and-
concept, but we needed somebody to put it in language that everybody could understand a little bit easier.
Okay, so my question then is, you account for 3 fire EMS in this per diem. What? I don't even know how to, all right, so that's 198,000.
Yes,
Is that reflected in this?
that's the, yes,
So when we look at your budget total, which is 111,000 increase, so it's 555,000, we should subtract out the 198,000?
I don't know
I
if
guess
we-
that's what I'm trying to,
I think in thinking of how it would affect the tax bill, like what it's gonna take out of the pool of money that's available for every other budget, yeah,
okay,
if that makes sense.
yes. Yes,
okay.
And one thing that this also doesn't
Oh.
account for is any of the,
I had extras.
River Bridge mitigation. We left River Bridge out, it's still
Yeah.
somewhat of an unknown. And
You need one?
one of the things that we thought with that is that.
I have
you know,
plenty, thank you.
we can possibly start to take that and apply that to our facility. And basically say, we know there's money coming in from Riverbridge. Instead of hitting Keith's budget for building maintenance, we can utilize that money to maintain the facilities for public safety.
Well, I
So
think the River Bridge was 50,000.
100 a year for
it's
5
100
years.
a year for
5
5.
years?
Yeah, we just don't know when it's necessarily going to kick in, which I'm
I
guessing.
think it's 2019, but from what I read, but
Okay.
But who knows if they'll come back. Where we'll be.
What has ambulance revenue been previously?
it was 112 last year.
With,
Can you
And-
explain to me why we are confident that it's going to nearly triple?
It's not gonna nearly triple.
Okay.
No, we have, that's how much money we will have in there at the
That's
end of
what's
this year.
sitting in the
Yeah,
account.
so
Because we have,
So the 120,
correct.
balance.
Correct,
Okay.
And
correct.
we can also look back
So,
at the 20% of calls that weren't staffed before, that those have been, I think we were talking the other day, there's only been two
Two.
calls.
That we didn't have
that-
enough to transport.
That we didn't have enough to transport, we've had people on every call, so that's been
Right.
quite a change.
So-
And collections, I believe, are up.
Yeah, and new billing company, so,
So I have a heart attack. You come with the ambulance, theoretical. You come with the ambulance, you take me to the hospital, how much do you bill for that?
$1,500,
And how much?
round numbers,
How
maybe
much do
14.
you actually collect on it?
I don't know what
I'm not
we're collecting,
Medicare,
but
we'll say
if you were a self-pay or
standard
Blue
insurance.
Cross Blue Shield, something like that, we usually collect somewhere around 80 to 90%.
Okay, so
So-
say 1,000.
I mean, my past town I collected, I was up to 92% collection rate.
No,
So,
but I mean, when you bill 1,500, you don't necessarily always get 15.
But if you had
Correct.
private insurance, you'd probably get almost.
Almost
all
all of it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so how much does it cost us to send somebody out? I'm just trying to see,
send somebody out, 2-hour minimum, it's $40, $80 for 2 people. And if we send 3, like I said, depends on how many people come out.
so
So,
it's,
so we make.
I don't want to say it's a profit center, but.
Well, no,
But it-
but again, too, we're projecting that with the increased amount of calls at the urgent care center, the one in Northborough, they're done over 200 calls since they started last April, I think it was. They did over 200
I
calls.
have to tell you, I was there today,
Yep.
and there's the UMass one on 20, and they built another one, a St. Vincent one, right across the street.
Yeah.
Is there
Yep. It's,
such
So-
a huge call for urgent care?
it's
even-
taking the business away from the emergency rooms and keeping people out of emergency rooms. The only bad part is, and what's affecting the fire departments and EMS is
Some of the people that,
people are going there with heart attacks.
Yeah, they
People
should
are
be in
going
the
there
emergency
when
room.
they should be going to an emergency room.
so even one call a week is 50 calls more a year. That's a lot to a small
so it's
department.
generating the
But-
calls as somebody who goes to an urgent care and is in the wrong place.
Is in the
Yes.
wrong place.
So-
And if you listen to the radio, it's happening in Hudson almost on a daily basis. It's really surprising.
And these are people who come in under their own steam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So it's not somebody,
No, it's someone who's not feeling well and they go in and they hook them up and all of a sudden they realize they're actually having a heart attack. Or people that go in with severely broken limbs, or it's surprising.
It's a myriad.
Their leg.
It's just a flesh wound.
Which slash
Indeed.
ligament.
And I'll tell you, looking at EMS, it's become big business. The town of Charlton, I believe that the SAFER grant that the chief was talking about, they just hired 9 firefighters through the grant program. They run 3 ambulances. They do hospital, nursing home transfers, and that's how it's a revenue stream for the community.
So if they build a continuing care or something down there, we shouldn't tell them that we want them to have their own ambulance service? No, we should say, bring it on.
It's,
The sicker, the better.
it's,
Well, I don't know about that.
No, but, okay.
Just so to be sure I understand now, we're asking for $110,000 increase, again, speaking in rough numbers. That's a 25% increase, again, speaking in rough numbers. That 110 is going to come out of the general levy because we don't expect any big bump, above and beyond that, above and beyond what we're getting in terms of Highland Commons money. So that 110 is coming out of the general levy. Is that fair?
the increase?
Yeah.
I would say no, because I don't know what was taken last year from Highland Commons for fire department wages, if much at all.
Well, all I'm
we
saying is, we spent everything.
Right.
Are we going to?
But we took
So if you look-
$123,000
This is what I
out.
just wanted
Yeah.
We
to.
took $123,000 out to fund the ladder truck
Okay,
out of the Highland Commons.
good. All right.
So,
So that 126.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
and you're also including all this ambulance revenue.
sure.
Right, no, but I
Yeah.
just wanted.
Yes, sir.
To,
Yes.
understand that I
Yeah.
wasn't going to the people with, 110,000 that was gonna
No,
come out of the tax
our
revenue.
whole goal through this was to try to
Yep.
fund this whole program without hitting the tax dollars.
You answered my question, that was it.
Okay.
Okay,
I think if we talk to FinCom with this, and if it's something they like the format, to have this in the annual report for people to
No,
see,
I
I
think
think it
that,
would be great, because they could actually see what their mitigation money is going towards and understand that they're getting these services without it affecting their tax bill.
no, I think that's right. And I do think we should definitely sort of separately account for that to people, because that was certainly one of the reasons a lot of people voted
Yep.
for that thing.
Right.
And, we also said at the time, although it seemed like a large number,
Yeah.
it was really not going to be that large a number, given the challenges that we were facing in restructuring public safety. So I
Yeah.
want to be sure we keep our eye
On
on
the
the ball with
prize,
that.
yeah.
And the other thing is, when we go into FinCom, I wanted, to ask them for 110 out of the public safety is one thing, but to ask it for out of the general revenues,
Is
Correct.
you could wear your flak jacket.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, can we now go through the capital that's on this? I don't think do we have any capital requests written up?
Sure.
For this year?
I have put in 4. The first one was under minor equipment. I was asked by the Finance Committee to put together a plan for a replacement of all of our minor equipment, everything from hose to nozzles to turnout gear, everything. So, and that's what we did. So we came up with a plan, and to fund that plan, we need $50,000 a year to fund that. And then again, we incorporated that into the capital plan, rather than putting it into the budget. We made that part of the capital plan as well. So it's one line item in the capital plan that funds all of that minor equipment, from to radios to everything.
So, some examples of minor equipment are radios,
Hose, nozzles, appliances, generators, portable pumps, chainsaws, turnout gear, helmets, gloves, boots, you name it.
Okay. Okay, so that's in here for 50,000. Okay,
Then we have a car 3, which is be an inspection vehicle to be used instead of that 4-door big pickup running around doing inspections, or the forestry vehicle. And again, we're looking at the potential of a electric vehicle grant.
so if you get this inspection vehicle, are you getting rid of anything?
No. We are getting rid of the
What's this?
rescue truck when we get the new ladder truck. So we are reducing the fleet in that aspect. And again, this would be a more economic and efficient vehicle for day-to-day use. And then when we go to replace the oldest engine in the tanker, we're going to do one vehicle, which will, then we will be down a vehicle.
So car 1, the Ford, that's your car?
Yep.
That's the chief car.
And
And
again,
then what is this 1998 car 2 Chevy donation?
that's the 4-door, 4-wheel drive pickup that came from the military.
And what's that used for?
That's used for running around, everything. It carries the ice rescue equipment, and it runs around to do errands or picks up hose. We had to pick up hose at calls and things like that, and transport breathing apparatus back and forth. But again, it's a bigger truck. It's a diesel. It's not very
You're killing me on this.
consumer friendly or environmentally friendly, and we're trying.
Yeah. Okay, and then, so the next one would be the environmentally friendly inspection vehicle? That's car 3?
Yes. And it may turn out that we should decide, depending on what kind of vehicles are available, we may decide to have that vehicle be the chief's vehicle and save more fuel, and have the inspection vehicle be the expedition. It gives us the option to take a look at it.
So you're gonna put all of the lights and blinkers and everything? That's important because it makes it a
Public safety
vehicle,
exempt.
the exempt vehicle.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then the next one up is the ambulance. Again, this ambulance is a 2009, and though it's in great shape, we see an increase in number of ambulance calls, and we just replaced the turbo in it. So the goal is to have an ambulance, 2 ambulances, and every 5 years buy a new one, and that's included in the capital plan, so that when the oldest one reaches 10 years old, it's out the door, and you're getting a new one. So
Okay, so you're gonna have 2
ambulances.
ambulances and a rescue truck?
no, the rescue
You're
truck's
getting
going
rid of the
away.
rescue truck,
Yep.
okay. Hydraulic rescue tools. Oh, whoops, never mind, that's 2019.
Yeah.
Electric,
So this is one I applied for a grant for, and we didn't get it this year. We'll apply again. It's an all-terrain vehicle, 4-wheeler, so to speak,
Little gator,
on
yeah.
steroids, gator type of thing that we would be able to use to search and rescue for people up on the mountain or wherever they may be lost. And you can also put a skid unit on it for brush firefighting, and again, you can carry somebody out on a backboard on that, and it's all electric.
you can ride on conservation trails with it?
Yeah, we can get away with
Walter's
anything.
in the back shaking his head.
When there's an emergency, all bets are off. But that's again, it's an all electric vehicle,
Okay,
and that's it.
and we've already talked to the police chief about car 6. Any questions, anyone here?
No?
No?
Thank you. I mean, I like the format. This thing is
Thank
very
you.
helpful.
Okay.
We have a question in the audience, Mr. Bickford?
Oh, it's just an offer. I would be happy to take the 2 chiefs on a hike and show them the trails and how easy it would be with foot access, the access points, without having any big investment on it. They're all easily accessible. And I think it's about time they walked them anyway, so, set the date.
He's gonna get his hip done
You
first.
got your hip in yet?
Tuesday.
We'll pull you.
Tuesday.
Tom will
Next
pull you
Tuesday,
all
sir.
over.
I'll carry it. That's my workout, right?
You're gonna rescue him.
He's falling in.
I'd be happy to go on a hike.
Yeah.
I'm definitely in.
I'm going to, yeah.
Okay, are there any other comments on this?
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we want to take a vote?
I move to approve the fire as presented.
Second?
Any other comments? All in favor? Aye. I've got lots of paper. All right, next, we have,
Do we want to, we have to take a vote on this SAFER grant?
Yes.
you need us to sign a grant. The letter should be prepared on your governing bodies, the letterhead and address too. So I'll take a vote on the grant and then,
To authorize,
Yeah, and you want to sign a letter later in the week, or?
sure.
okay. I move to approve the application for the federal SAFER grant.
Second?
All in favor?
I move to authorize Chairman Booman to execute a letter of support as required by the application.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Sir.
All right, next up is the public safety administrative assistant position. One for you.
So this is a job description we put together. This is what we've talked about through the process of regional dispatch, as well as in my budget presentations to you a few weeks ago. So this just covers the general duties. I know, Tom, we talked a lot about other things that person can do. So I kept that, any other tasks that's deemed necessary to leave that door open, that we
Yep.
could fill in whatever we need in the future.
So this person would be here 9 to 5?
So we'd figure out the best schedule based on operations. I think we'd be unlocking the doors at Town Hall potentially 8, so maybe 8 to 4 to coincide with the day shift, or we'll have a hour lunch at some point maybe and keep them 8 to 5 or something along those lines.
So they could do brush burning permits?
They could. One of the things.
People who don't have computer access?
Yep, and one of the things we're also looking at to help out with that, along with the computers the fire department's getting from the district, we're getting 3 new computers. My thought was to take one of our old laptops that we have in a police cruiser, mount it on the counter out front to leave accessible to people for just that reason, anything they need to access for town. We might even be able to come up with an electronically fileable public records request that we could leave, that if people walked in, they could fill it in. And
Did you talk to our public records person over here?
You want to?
Oh.
so I'm one too. That may make some of our life easier when the offices are closed. So our hope is to get one of those computers in there that'll answer some of those questions as well, especially in the off hours. But it's kind of a catch-all that they can do
Dump permit?
everything. If we need them to help the Board of Health during the week on the transfer station, absolutely.
So they'll be, you're going to be removing all the dispatch equipment out of that?
No, so the dispatch equipment will stay. We may reconfigure it a little bit down the road, looking at some of the equipment. The main dispatch desk had like 3 metal sections of equipment cabinets and a desk in the middle. We can condense that down to 2 sections because the 911 equipment's coming out. So we'd open up the room a little bit, and the secondary dispatch terminal we could eliminate. And then
The idea of keeping
No, I was
one
gonna say,
terminal
why keep
is
one?
in case we have a major disaster
something
and
happens.
Neshoba gets overrun or something, we can put somebody
or
in
there's
there
a
to run the
fire there
radio.
or something, we still have it up and running on our side.
Okay.
Back up to the backup.
Okay, any other questions?
I thought you did a good job on the administrative assistant. Just a couple of typos. That's
Is there?
about it.
Okay.
I can let you know where they are.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll straighten it out.
Yeah, or Mary will check them out.
See, if you had an administrative assistant, they could have gone through it for you.
Exactly. If I wasn't busy right now, you know?
I used to give it to my daughter, we called her the comma queen. Really? A comma goes there?
That's probably what they call me, too.
So when do you, whose budget is this in?
So this is still covered under the communications budget. So the
Okay.
communications budget, there's funding for it in the current budget, as well as next year's budget. It's proposed to keep it under that budget.
Did we get a number from Neshoba on what they're charging us for this year?
Not yet. But based on what we have in the budget, I figured if we had to pay 2 full quarters, that we're covered. Based on what's going on right now logistically and some of the problems, I want to talk to Nathan, because I don't think we should be paying for 2 full quarters.
No, because we're not really,
We weren't in,
There.
yeah, so
Yep.
We'll be negotiating.
okay.
that might come up at the admin meeting
Do we
tomorrow.
have to put this on the personnel spreadsheet, et cetera?
I think so.
Yep.
So this, the way that I budgeted it was keeping it in the same classification that the dispatchers currently were in, which was class 5.
That makes sense to me.
A lot of these things, are they what the dispatchers were doing already? I didn't think so.
No,
No.
a lot of it is
I mean, budgeting and...
Would've been nice.
Payroll,
weekly
Right.
payroll and the accounts payable is
Yeah.
all
Bills and-
stuff that's keeping me from policies and other things that I really need to be working on right now.
Yep. Okay.
and you can successfully split this between the two of you?
Absolutely.
I'm good at sharing.
Yeah.
I did it alone so long, that, you know, I'm older, so.
Okay.
I would move to accept this position description for administrative assistant police fire and to classify it as class 5.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
Is there any other discussion on this? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So are you going to start interviewing for this?
I'll get a posting together tomorrow and start interviewing right away. Things.
Personnel usually looks at the advertisement too, no? Doesn't personnel look at the advertisement generally?
Well, we can, if you want us to, but I
I
think
have
you
no
can.
problem putting an advertisement together and getting it out.
Okay.
Nice job description. We'll give you your guidance.
Yep.
You know
Okay.
You already know the pay.
The final part here is to talk about the draft town hall access policy. So, we'll start with how do you reserve a public meeting room? So you have to go through the selectman's office.
It's like
That's the summary
Currently
of
how
it.
it's done, yeah, except for the public safety training room, which is done through us and downstairs.
And then the town office access policy is that the municipal building, which you have as town office, would be locked on legal holidays, weekends, weekdays, Monday through Friday, it would be locked at 10 PM through 8 AM, and Fridays at 5 PM until Monday at 8 AM. So this locking would only be for people who are not employees and don't have a badge to get in.
Correct.
If you-
All employees in the building, and then what we'll also do is each board, or the chairman of the board, will be issued an access key as well.
Okay.
Well, I had a question about that. So if the chair of a committee is ill and can't make the meeting,
So the way the doors are set up downstairs, what it does allow, if the dispatch center buzzes someone into the public safety lobby once the new door gets there, you can access the rest of the building. There's a release for the door that would allow you to access the building to get in. I know there was some members of the Conservation Commission I talked to that had been concerned about, they often come in to sign documents and things. That wouldn't stop. They could still get buzzed into the public safety lobby and then have access through. And then if there was ever a problem, it's not hard for an officer to get called in off the street to come in and help someone and help make sure they get in.
So how do the people who dispatch, how would they know that when you say, I'm a member of conservation, that you're a member of conservation?
So one of the things I'm going to do, and I have to meet with Nathan, is provide them with the lists of the boards and the members.
So you'd have to hold a license up
Yeah,
or
and they're
something?
going to be on camera. The people are going to be, we're going to have a recording of them. And, I can talk to Nathan and see how he likes to handle that. But if he wants to call an officer in every time it happens, because it's not going to happen every hour, every day, just to verify the person.
Do they do this presumably for other towns at this point or not?
No, because none of the other towns are in the town hall. They're standalone. They're all standalone buildings.
I got you.
So,
But don't
That's-
the other town halls must have some sort of, not through Neshoba,
not through
but.
Neshoba.
Right, gotcha.
Okay, so if you have a public meeting, the door would be open
Yeah.
at 7 at night, and you just come in.
Just come in, right, yeah, that's why we leave it. There's not many meetings that go beyond 10 PM.
We were going to encourage the school committee to come back, though. They'd go beyond 10 PM.
Okay.
But you
And
can
the-
always get out.
Yeah, they can get out.
You can't get in, but the
Right.
one thing that we can do is the system's programmable. If we know the school committee's meeting on
Right,
the
it can
third
be
Tuesday,
changed.
we can set it to midnight those
Right.
nights. Because my plan is that after 10 PM,
Yeah.
to have the officers do a walkthrough of the building to make sure that everything's empty. I think that we do building checks all over the community. To add the town hall and doing a walkthrough after the building's secure is
Right.
not a difficult thing to add to their duties.
You have to talk them into coming back first, anyway.
Cancel.
I was in their offices last week for a meeting, and that's not a great facility.
No,
It is not.
gives me a mold.
It's a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
So cancel.
And just, but
Whoops.
why did you decide not to issue a card key to every member of each committee?
Just in management and transition, I mean, we could if we did, if we want to do that. I'd order a bunch more keys, key cards, and we could do that. That wouldn't be a
Initially, what we
problem.
thought was at least, we gotta get the employees all in, and then we have to get the major department heads and department chairs in the building to start with, because it's gonna take time. We have the computer, we have the photographing equipment, but it's a matter of getting everybody in and getting them that badge, and then it has to be programmed in the computer, so give them certain access to certain doors, so.
And presumably, once that's done, you can pretty quickly turn off.
Oh, yeah.
the
I could
card.
turn
You're
off
not
the key,
like-
yeah.
It's not like keys that you have to chase.
Correct, and we don't have the
So,
recore locks.
So,
It's like
so on
a
an annual
hotel key.
basis, you
When new people are elected, and new people are gone, we could,
Okay.
yeah.
So this is a transitional thing, so you don't have a line of 40 people
Correct.
one day out.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I think you're going to end up needing more than one.
Probably,
Which is fine,
but-
yeah, I don't think
Okay,
that's a problem.
That's good.
Could a badge be issued with no, picture badge or whatever, identification with no key, like say, and it to be buzzed in with just
Yep.
a picture rather
Yeah,
than
absolutely.
having a, electronic for
Yeah.
everybody, just to circumvent having.
Yeah, that might work too. That's a good idea. Just issue a photo ID, town photo IDs, and they can show that to the camera.
Yeah, or whoever, instead of having a,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Walter?
Yeah, I mean, either chief can answer, but what is the problem? Why do we need these new rules and regulations?
In terms of locking
Come
the
in
building?
here- I come in here at 5 in the morning, sometimes I'll be home doing something at night, 10 o'clock at night, even later, as a matter of fact, and a file, boom, I come up here and get it. When I come in and go out, go down the stairs, I look, there's nobody there watching. They don't know it. If there's a camera there, that's all that's necessary. I mean, so what is the big demand to lock? There's just a lot of symbolism in it for me. This is Berlin. We've never locked our town offices. It's open to the people. You've got cameras. I just,
No,
just
and
don't think
I
it's
under-
necessary.
yeah,
So
I
tell me why
understand
it's
the way it's
necessary.
been. It's, we're responsible for all this information, people's information, documentation. We have an obligation to protect it. And I agree that we want Berlin to be this safe atmosphere. But what surrounds us and what's going on in the world today, that's not, unfortunately, that doesn't happen all the time. And it may not only be you that comes in, it could be somebody else, it could be 10 people at once, and they could do some serious damage to one of our largest assets in the community. We got a letter from our insurance company. They came in to have a meeting with us, and they were concerned that there's no locks on the building. They insure us, they insure all our assets, and they come in here and say, wait a second, you don't lock this place at night?
Tom, what asset is going to be
Information.
damaged? What
You
information?
could get in and we have people's personal information, all our employees' personal information, everyone's information for their taxes. We keep on computers in here.
We also keep them on paper.
Offices. They're locked in
With suspended
offices.
ceilings that anyone can go over, or if you get up into the ceiling, the wire runs across, you slip it, you can get access. It's access is unfortunately easy. We have to do something to protect that. If we don't, and then something happens, and the reality is probably nothing will happen in the next 20 years. But if it does, and we've acknowledged that we're not going to do anything, then we're liable.
And I do think the fact that there is, that's why we designed the building this way. The fact that there is a dispatcher there 24/7
To look.
is definitely something that I think people are
Yep.
aware of. Maybe they're not standing there staring out the window all the time, but the fact that they're there.
They're aware
in
of
the
cars,
building.
aware of it, and
Yeah.
the problem, one person gets in and we don't necessarily know who it is, and they go down and open the back door, and there's no cameras there, and a bunch more people come in. I agree, it stinks. It's not what it used to be, but, we have to.
But it's
Somebody-
not what it used to be.
Somebody
Well,
comes into the
it used to be.
building and they damage water pipes, and then there's water flowing everywhere, you've got water damage, it's,
Well, we have
You know-
had previously where someone turned the
You know.
boiler off, if you remember that. Some things that happened that were never actually resolved on who was doing it.
you see horrible things all the time, that people turn over headstones and things in the cemeteries. You can't protect from everything, but
Just on the keys, by the way, Madam Chairman, the chairman of the Conservation Commission lives down the other end of Gates Pond Road. If I want to come in here at 9 o'clock and I'm in the middle of doing something, I'm not going to drive down there to get it. So it can wait a day. It won't be a crisis, but
You can always get buzzed in.
when you go out, you can.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's what-
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah.
that's the whole thing, is that you can just go up, tell them who you are, they'll know who you are, and buzz you through.
And as I said, I think, and that's why I asked them about,
Yeah.
serving people all having a key, because
Right.
I hear what you're saying.
And-
People will
and again,
want to do that, and they said they're willing to consider that, just let's get the
We gotta
people
get
who
going
work
first.
here
Get the
first, and
rollout
one
done.
key to
Okay.
each committee, and then,
Yeah.
and the reason I asked the question is, can these things simply be disabled? That's great, because then if you had to chase them like keys, I could see
Yeah.
having one per committee.
It's like hotel rooms.
But, yeah, exactly.
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 so,
Okay. Are there any other questions on this access policy?
I'm not sure I would see the chair or staff person posting cancellation notices on the front door of the town offices if they're not having the meeting. I don't know how you'd solve that, because you
possible.
wouldn't have an administrative assistant there to do that for them if it was later at night.
Yeah. I mean, I
It
think
says
that.
if possible.
Yeah.
Right,
we
if
haven't-
possible.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully.
So I'm an admin, or Leanne Leahy's an admin for zoning board of appeals. If you knew that the meeting was going to be canceled, we could post something on the outside offices so someone wouldn't fret that they're not getting into the building.
Right.
Right.
And anyway, I mean, the door would still be open till that
It
10
sounds like
PM
it's still open
anyway, so.
anyhow, yeah.
And I mean, a couple times in the middle of really bad snowstorms, I've walked down when the selectmen have been canceled and put
Right.
something on the front of the door anyway,
Right.
so people don't waste
Yeah.
their time.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that's okay.
Yeah, there's really no procedure on how a meeting, notification of a canceled meeting right now.
Just write town government, go on
Right,
and
go
cancel
on
the
and
meeting.
cancel
But
Right.
nobody ever,
Most people aren't.
We could get a little
able to get on
signboard in the
there.
lobby that's computer operated, and you can send a program
There you
in and have it come up on the screen.
You know what, let's have the
Scrolling.
data systems guy do that.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, I think the IT guy would be great for that.
That little light truck that you have. Anyway, thank
okay.
you.
Do I hear a motion to accept the town office access policy?
I so moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, we
Oh,
have
oh,
the
one
animal dog officer. That's
Yeah,
not you.
June
That's-
pointed out that there was just a mistake in my calculations. I used the wrong, so it just changed the wages slightly.
Move to approve the amended
So it's,
animal control officer budget.
Oh, we already,
we approved it initially, yeah, and it was
So
just,
it's a decrease from, it was an increase of $69 and now it's $65.
no, so it was, what happened was, is if you look at the figure, when I was printing these sheets, I did it wrong, and I left this as 16 to 17. I did it on the 16 instead of on 17 to 18.
Okay.
So,
But there's is a $4 difference. Did you know that?
overall,
Yeah. Okay. Okay,
Boy,
yeah.
they're tight, I'm telling you.
all in favor of reapproving the dog officer budget?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Luckily, June checked my work.
he does.
Oh, are you animal control? No, what, animal control, oh, dog officer, okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
Officer, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, thank you,
That it?
Thank you.
Sure?
I think so.
Okay.
All righty.
You skedaddle out quick.
Thank you.
We met during the administrators meeting. One of our questions for you, will the administrator, or we are working on, be able to sell transfer stations?
Yeah, yeah.
He will.
Yeah,
Kind
absolutely.
of fold that in. Terrific.
Yeah, that's, he'll be there, a lot of the things that are already done or were already done can still continue.
That was one of the
Yeah.
main reasons for
Did you
having
ask
this.
about that?
Very
Yeah.
good, that's good.
Yeah,
I had a
Makes
comment.
things easier, thank you.
So,
no,
Alrighty.
I think
I mean,
that
obviously, the hours will not
they'll
be as
do
full
brush
as they
burning,
were
Right.
they'll
before,
do
but
dump
yes.
But if
stickers,
someone can
they'll answer
still-
questions.
Alright.
someone still come
Exactly.
in
That,
like they used to.
that sort of
Absolutely.
I'm
answers
gonna
my
try.
question.
Yeah.
We did a lot.
Yeah, I know you did a lot through mail
yeah, we're
and
gonna
things
try
like that.
Do some down at the state. but
Yeah, that works.
transfer, but If they can still work.
They'll still be, yeah, we'll still
have
keep
them,
that
you
money
know,
through
but
Friday, absolutely.
We'll try to take some heat off you.
Yeah, that's no problem, takes the heat off you guys too.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, I'd like to open a public hearing. The Berlin Board of Selectmen will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, January 17th at 7:30 PM in the Berlin Town Offices, room 206, 23 Linden Street, Berlin. The purpose of this public hearing is to provide interested parties with an opportunity to comment on the town's proposed complete streets policy, which reads as follows. And I'm not going to read it because it's very long. This was posted in the town offices, on the town website, and on Facebook. And I would like Tim Wheeler to come up and give us a presentation on the complete streets, if he would like that.
So, in February last year, we signed with the Commonwealth the Community Compact, and in it, we agreed to two best practices. One was